Alright guys, how's it going? Mr. Extra from Team Extra. As always, come on guys, you already know this by now. So, what we're going over today is, we did a tier list recently for the meta tier list for like what's currently going on in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, obviously. So, we're going to go ahead, we're just going to slap the hand trap tier list up, and then don't worry, there will be a board breaker one out this week. Let's go ahead and then just jump into this and talk about this, right guys? I know you guys have been interested in seeing like what mine and my team's opinion is on this type of stuff. Especially with doing the regional grind, playing at like one of the most competitive shops in Ohio just all the time. Because, we like it sweaty over here, unfortunately. But let's jump into it. Alright, so first thing on the chopping block, we have Impermanence, right? So Impermanence sets in two places for me. You can borderline it. Borderlining it is like it's on the cusp. It's very, very interesting. Like, you can do a lot with this. Or if you need to side it out, you can side it out. Impermanence is really good going second. It is amazing going second. Going first, it's still pretty good too. But personally, I would have Impermanence in the borderline to where like I would side it out, or you have them in your side, and then you bring them in when you know you're going second in the game too. So you can like Imperm the Baron, Imperm the Pearly Black, get them to waste resources to combo off. It's pretty annoying card. It's still very good. One of the best hand traps in my opinion, but you can hear me say that a lot. Alright, so next is Dimensional Shifter. I'm going to say main deck worthy because if your deck can play this, you need to play this. This stops a lot of decks in the format right now, except for the best deck. You all know how my opinion is about Kashtira, but its representation lives up for itself. Like, I don't know what to say about that. I can't really say that it's bad. I just don't like the deck myself personally, but, take that for a grain of salt. So, Shifter is really good right now because it turns off a lot of decks. It turns off Vanadium, turns off Dragon Link. Pearly, if all their spells are getting banished instead, it makes it a lot harder for them to go into the North. It's a very problematic card, so you're going to see it mostly in like Kashtira, Birds, Exo Sister, if they're still playing Exo Sister. Hell, D-Shifter, I'm pretty sure slows down Rescue Ace quite a bit too, but they can also cycle their Banish back to their deck, if I recall correctly. Overall, amazing card. Play it if your deck can play it. If your deck can't play it and you're trying to squeeze it in, don't do it. You're just going to ruin the consistency of your deck. Alright, Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom, I've seen people put this in all kinds of spots. Not for like a tier list or anything, just like me seeing the representation of Ash Blossom being used. A lot of people lately have been side decking Ash Blossom, but personally, I still think it's one of the best hand traps right now. Ash Blossom, it stops a lot of stuff. It stops your Brand of Fusion. It stops like that generic searcher that they need to resolve to potentially make their hand work when their hand's bad. Nothing feels funnier where they have a bad hand, they got a Prosperity for 6 to try to fix their hand and use to Ash them. It's pretty hilarious in my opinion. Overall, still a good card. It can stop Ravesoft for Kashtira. It can stop some of the Pearly stuff too. It's just a good card. Play it if you can. If you can't, what are you doing? I don't know what to tell you. Next, Droll. Droll is 100% probably the second best hand trap in the format behind Shifter, because we just walked into a Droll format since Syac released, and then the set after that. Syac, Duelist Nexus, all that. Actually, Duelist Nexus really made it a Droll format. So, Droll cooks a lot of decks right now, unfortunately, because if you get your first search out the way and you don't have combo and they draw you, you're usually kind of dead in the water. It slows Kashtira down, so if they pot, for example, and then pot into Ravesoft and you draw them there, it's super funny watching their face afterwards when they don't have anything else and they needed that Ravesoft to search. It slows down Pearly, but if they have a good opening hand, they can still play through it. Vanadium, if they do a search out the gate and they don't have a Vices, an Orb, and a level 4 in hand, guess what? Droll's going to cook them, unfortunately. Droll cooks dragons to an extent, but if they have a good hand, they can still handle spears and some bestial stuff, depending on hand. This is all hand-oriented at that point. Droll makes you have to play hand-oriented rather than just search your deck 30 times. But, yeah, it's just really good right now. It's going to be good for a while. It'll probably roll into the next format, so when you see the hand trap tier list for the next format in a couple months, it's probably still going to be up there at the top, if not still main deck worthy. I personally play 3 in Vanadium, and I play 2 in Dragon Link. So let's talk about Baylor. Now, Baylor and Imperm are kind of in the same spot right now. This comes down to user preference or deck preference, in my opinion. I say that because I'm someone who I personally like Imperm, right? I play Imperm in Vanadium, but I play Imperm in the side in Dragons and then affect Baylor in the main because with Dragons I lose the dice roll more for some reason, so I'm forced to go second more. So Baylor's still pretty good, but I mean, worst case scenario, Baylor is a Chaos Space target. It's a light monster. You can Chaos Space pitch it if it's like the dead card in your hand, and use it to potentially fix your hand too. So in that aspect, it's good. But if you're playing like Pro Lily, you could probably play the Baylor over the Imperm because you have other ways to stop certain things, or you can just outgas your opponent straight up and pick up momentum, so to speak. So, Imperm Baylor, borderline, in my opinion. Imperm, I feel like should still be main deck worthy, but again, if you're playing a deck that plans on going first, or you just 100% don't know. These are just preferences. They do about the same. Imperm's just slightly better. In fact, Baylor is better for a situation, though. Disregard this Imperm down there, by the way, guys. I don't know why it doubled it, but here we are. Ghost Ogre right now, sideworthy. I say sideworthy because this card, it has kind of low representation right now unless you're playing like an E-Telly deck where you just want to throw it on the field and use it to climb into something big like M Punisher. But granted, right now, sideworthy, I mean, it could be good against Synchropile. It's good for trading field spells sometimes. It's good to get rid of the Birth. It's also good to get rid of, like, when Pro Lily's starting to pop off and then they have, like, a little Baby Nor, for example, rank 2 that just came out for them. And then you just Ghost Ogre it when it uses the effect. Yeah, I mean, that'll work. It's pretty decent on trading. Would I main deck it? No. Out of all this format, maybe, but probably not. Side deck worthy. If you can side in 3 for that matchup to be really effective, yes, 100%. So basically, it's like on the cusp of side deck worthy and then not enough. That is my opinion on that one right now. So it could honestly go either or. But I think you can still side deck it. Do I side deck it now? Alright, let's talk about Belle. Belle has a lot of good interactions in the format. Labyrinth is still running around and as an avid Labyrinth player, or was. This really hurts. Stops big welcome Labyrinth. That says enough on its own right there. Let's see. It stops Kashtira Birth. It stops like your janky other decks that you occasionally see. It'll stop like the Sanctifier cycle with Gimmick Puppet for Branded if they're still doing that, which I haven't seen that in a while. It stops Math Mech if they're trying to do Super Factorial, assuming that someone at your locals is playing Math Mech, or I don't know how developed y'all's locals are, but just an example. Basically, it stops a lot of pretty interesting stuff. For birds, ironically enough, you can use Belle to stop some of the bird plays or whatever because they vanish, and then you can just be like, no, we're not doing that. It wouldn't really come up because if you're having a side Belle against the bird player, then you're already in a bad spot, so I really wouldn't apply it like that, but it's just another interesting little fact for it. And overall, I play 3 in the side for one of my decks right now. Actually, both of them. It's really good. Would you have decided often based off your locals, guys? So anyone who like moves stuff around graveyard, special summons from graveyard, yes. Outside of that, no. All right, Phantasmal Phantasme. Right now, I would actually just drop this and not even play it because like it only really applies to Link decks. Well, I mean, Link monsters too, but it just depends. Like, it's really good against Dragon Link, but I mean, I haven't seen anyone pull this card out in the wild in a very long time. That should tell you a lot. Would I drop it? Yeah. Do you need to get rid of the card altogether? No, don't do that. This card's probably going to go back up in value here soon because of like the upcoming formats. So I would hold on to it. I just would not play this or side it right now. And while we're talking about cards that are kind of useless right now, let's go ahead and put Contact C in the not enough. So Contact C, if I remember correctly for this one, it is the one that when it'll special itself out, and then it basically turns into a Macrocosmos for, I want to say, spell and trap cards, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the comments when you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, obviously, but this is okay. I mean, if you're playing against like Runic or Pearly, but it don't do a whole lot. I mean, unless you're literally playing like trap tricks with insects and stuff, it still isn't doing a whole lot. It's not enough. Would I drop it? No. But at the same time, I don't see me playing this card pretty much at all unless I'm playing a deck that directly searches it, or I'm running a card that directly searches it. Let's move on. Gamma, drop it for right now because the 1-up Gamma, actually, yeah, because it's either drop it or not enough, but I would just drop this right now. Gamma at 1 is not good. I've seen a lot of people try to do some copium stuff with this, where they're like Gamma Driver, or they'll run 1 Gamma 3 Driver like a maniac, so they'll choose to run 3 bricks to hope it ratios on drawing that Gamma. That's dumb. Don't do that. Don't be that way. But I've seen people run Gamma, and then they run some of the other ones from the archetype, where it's like the spell trap negate to like negate brand fusion, something weird. Guess what? Most of the time, that's probably a brick outside of that too. So everyone would run Gamma because Gamma was probably the best one for the longest time. It was one of them, but I would just not play right now while it's sitting at 1. Trust me, the minute that thing comes back to 3, I'm tossing that in the Mana DM and Dragonling so fucking fast, guys. You have no idea. I'll speed throw that into a sleeve. But yeah, it's still the best of the drop-offs right now because it's still like, I mean, you hit on the 1-up, then you're just good at this game, I guess. But yeah, that's where I put it for the time being for that until it gets back to 3. Cherries is ass. Don't play this card. I'm going to explain why. So Cherries, if I recall, says it's either like if your opponent special summons a monster. No, it's when they have control more monsters than you. That's what it is. You reveal a card from your extra deck, and then if they have it, they gotta banish them. The problem is we're in a format to where even though they do that, they can just pull it back, especially Cash Terra, for example. And then on top of that, Cherries is a brick outside of that. It's like 100% a brick outside of that. I wouldn't play it. This card has not been good pretty much. I don't remember it ever being good. I just remember it being like the shittiest hand trap out of the Ghost Sisters. Like, out of all of them. It's like the worst version in my opinion. Hell, Dogwood's better than this. And we're going to talk about Dogwood next, guys. Alright, Dogwood right now is, you can place it in like 1 to 2 places. This depends on your locals, your scene, and then like the regionals you typically go to, which for regionals, Dogwood's kind of clutch. But at the same time, it doesn't do a whole lot. The whole purpose of this card is to quite literally just try to make them pass their turn, or hit them with it in time, which it comes up. I've had it come up at a regional more than locals, because at locals people are pretty quick, and at regional someone will, if there's like 2 minutes left on the clock and they have the slightest chance of just slow playing it out into a draw because they know they can't win because their hand sucks, they will 1000% do that, guys. Yu-Gi-Oh players are regional, aside from trying to smell bad on purpose, which, if that is you, seek help, I guess, because that's kind of disgusting, is slow playing the time. Like, why? And if you're a Rika player, based on my track record, 90% sure you're going to end up trying to do that. But that's just my preference. So, you can play it as not enough, or drop it for the time being if you never come into an issue of time, or you don't have, or if you have a deck that has a built-in time card. Like for example, with Dragons, I play Scarlet Red Archery and a pop field burn damage, stuff like that, so to speak. All right, let's talk about Mourner. Mourner is a really good borderline. Probably, we'll go like this order right here. Ghost Mourner's really good. It has good application. It's just got a weird requirement, which says if your opponent special summons a monster, you basically can tag one of the monsters with like an effect veiler, negate its effect, and then if it leaves the field, they get burned for the attack of the monster that got hit with the Mourner. Now, the application of this card's really cool. It's a little bit of hit and miss with it, but I mean, you can use this as a weird janky time card. So imagine like you're playing Labyrinth or something, you set 5 pass, they draw, they go to main, alright, and then they go, okay, we're gonna combo, and then time gets called while they're comboing, you just Ghost Mourner one of their cards, and then you just remove it off the field of like Compulse or something, and then they get burned for the damage, and you can win off that alone. Am I saying like scum people that way? No, but it's regional. People are going to do pretty much anything to try to get their invite. I mean, that's just how the competitive scene is for this game is anymore. It is definitely a borderline. Do I play it right now myself? No. But I play a fat hand trap lineup, and I don't have room for more. If I had room for more, I would end up actually playing that. So let's talk about Space Rock. Space Rock right now is doing amazing. It has a very high representation. It is just an amazing card if you're trying to go second. It's just ridiculous, guys. It's absolutely crazy. Just absolutely nutty. Best part about it is when Kashtira tries to end main phase, and then you just nib them, and then laugh and cackle. Space Rock is so good right now. Do I play this? Yes. Do I main this? Yes. I main this in both decks I play right now. You should be maining this. And I would put it in this order and best hand traps in the format for like what you should main deck in this order. So Shifter, if you can play it, Droll 100%, obviously. Like, it's just so good. Nibiru, even if you plan to go first, because you can side it out in the game too if you lose. But at the same time, like, say you don't have a fantastic hand, and you put like you're like 1 or 2 negates up, something like that, because your hand's not great and they hand trap you down, and then you just space rock them and pass, basically. But that being said, there will be a tier list video tomorrow for board breakers, and there will be 5 or 6 videos dropping from content from the locals on Friday, which I know you guys like seeing that. Outside of that, like, comment, subscribe. If you feel like I missed something, or like me and my team missed something for this like hand trap lineup, let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. We're on the road to 2K subs right now, and we're trying to hit that goal. We have a very high goal setting over here right now for Team Extra. And don't forget to go check out our sponsor, Dueling Guard. Team Extra is the promo code. It's capital T, capital X, spelled exactly like that. No lowercase at all, because then it just doesn't count. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Give me a shout out if you see anything you think I'm wrong about, and if so, we can debate about it in the comments. I'm totally up to talk. And yeah, stay tuned for the rest of the content coming out this week. There should be more people in some of these videos. It all just depends. A lot of my team has some janky mics right now. But yeah, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, guys.